Well, good news coming in from the side of Mason Greenwood and everyone that really loves the player to return at Man United. It looks like he's geared up for the United return, and for the United return that is pending approval from the board of Man United, that is the Glazers and Richard Arnold. Welcome to United Matters channel. Good morning, guys. How are you? How is your Friday, my Muslim viewers and subscribers onto this channel? Juma Karim. Hope you guys are going to flock to the mosques and really say that prayer to Allah. And obviously there is my Christians, I think the Lord God is doing you wonders and you're really enjoying yourself. So we are talking Mason Greenwood. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're really watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Now we are talking Kökçü. Orkun Kökçü is one of those players that Erik ten Hag wanted to sign from the Eredivisie, and he wouldn't even have gone in for Mason Mount, but the board let him down. We are going to let you know how the board let him down from achieving his first signing that he wanted to arrive at Man United as soon as possible. And lastly, Donny van Beek links to AS Roma have been rubbished by Fabrizio Romano, but he's having several clubs eyeing his services this summer transfer window. So let's start it off with the Sun updating us about Mason Greenwood down in Manchester. The Sun has told us that Greenwood was seen on the pitch for the first time since his arrest last year. The suspended Manchester United Ek, 21 years of age, was put through his paces by a private coach at a public sports center, working on his close control and shooting in a 90-minute session on an 85-pound-an-hour pitch. That is Mason Greenwood for you, and it's really something great for Mason Greenwood that is really back on the pitch. I understand he has been training and getting ready to get himself back to full fitness, but this is something that the Sun have gone ahead to put out. Remember, the Sun are so accurate when it comes to Mason Greenwood, as they're the ones that even first broke the story that he had been acquitted of his charges. That was on the 22nd of February this year. So Greenwood is trying to fight back to see to it that whenever the verdict comes in through, whether he's returning to Man United or they are loaning him, suspending him indefinitely at the club of Man United, he is obviously already in his shape to go ahead and really join a team that he's going to be playing for in the next season. Now, some of the photos that were really photographed, all taken by the Sun, are as follows. That is Mason Greenwood with his afro well grown up. That is the guy, Mason Greenwood for you, trying to do the needful for the side of himself, getting back to shape. Shooting at the goalkeeper, that is Mason Greenwood, and obviously his trainee, that is Mason Greenwood, try to really put the ball into the best position he can to shoot. And lastly, that is him again trying to do the needful onto the field of play. But we all understand that it's obviously something very, very hurting for a Mason Greenwood player, and United is missing him. We are missing Mason Greenwood, and it's all about the board to really make a decision, that is Avram Glazer, Joel Glazer and Richard Arnold, on his return, because the fans are divided. Some fans are saying he shouldn't return, others are saying he should return, and it's really going to be calling in for very many answers from the board of Man United and the decision they're going to make if at all they say he shouldn't return, because he'll tell them the charges were acquitted of me, right? And I was cleared of all those charges and I'm innocent. Now, if you are really wanting to not see my service back at Man United and terminate my contract, you have to pay me money. And it's understood that there is what we call a clause of how much you're going to pay in a contract if at all it's terminated. Some people have been calculating the amount of money the amount of time he's still left with Man United, those are 2 years, and if at all he's earning £72,000, I think it's 75, right? He's earning 75. He's earning 75,000 per week. times 52 weeks. That means he earns £4 million per year, Mason Greenwood. Now, £4 million per year for Mason Greenwood, you obviously understand that the compensation would have been like £10 million. But I really understand that there is a clause of a termination of that contract. It's more than that amount of money because they want to prohibit the club to terminate the contract of the player. And if at all they do, when it's not in their favor, they have to pay that amount of money. And I think United will have to pay close to 20 or 30 million pounds of compensation fee for Mason Greenwood. Something that I believe it's not going to be easy for the Glazers to go on and really say it's going to happen, unless otherwise Sheikh Jassim Al Thani comes in through to get this over the line. So let's wait and see how Greenwood is going to be treated, but he's so much geared up and ready for the United return, pending onto the decision of the Glazers and Richard Arnold very, very soon. Let's do some news about Orkun Kökçü, the former captain of Eredivisie side known as Feyenoord, where Tyrell Malacia came in from. He led them to the victory of lifting the Eredivisie, and he was wanted by Erik ten Hag. Now, we've been told by 1908, very huge source coming in from Feyenoord in Netherlands. They've told us that Manchester United made several attempts for Orkun Kökçü. Ten Hag was used at an earlier stage to convince him to move to Man United. A bid did not arrive, though partly because of United's Mason Mount pursuit. Now, this is what I've always gone ahead and really told you, that Ten Hag never wanted Mason Mount for starters. Ten Hag only went in to find in Mason Greenwood. Sorry about that. Ten Hag, in the first sense, or in the first position, he wanted Orkun Kökçü, who was playing for Feyenoord, because of the versatility he has in that midfield. Now, because the board wanted us to sign an English player, they told him we are not going to bid. They never bidded for the player, and they found themselves in a situation of not getting him. And we lost him to Benfica, who bought him at like 30 million euros. That's it. But if at all we had gone ahead to really buy him at 40 million pounds, Feyenoord was willing to give it. But because the board wanted us to sign an English player, we never gave Erik ten Hag the midfielder he wanted. Orkun Kökçü, if at all you really go ahead and obviously read what his stats were last season, you really get impressed. And I think most of you now believe in what we call Eredivisie players. Most of you were so much blindfolded by Eredivisie players, and they are criticizing Erik ten Hag a lot for bringing them at Man United. And obviously, almost the four he brought in are really doing great. Malacia, Lisandro Martinez, and Anthony, they are all doing great. Now, when you look at Orkun Kökçü, last season he played 32 games in the Eredivisie, scored 8 goals and put up 2 assists. UEFA Europa League, 10 games, 3 goals and 2 assists. And in the KNV Cup, 4 matches and he scored 1 goal. So last season he scored close to 12 goals, and he had close to 4 assists. That is Orkun Kökçü, and he's a very good player. When you look at him, Mason Mount is nowhere next to him. He's tall, he's a towering of a lad, he's skilled, he's good at really taking set pieces, right? He's a very good goal scorer, and he runs a lot, meaning that Ten Hag had really seen him as his ideal partnership for the double pivot alongside Casemiro in that midfield of Manchester United. So we missed out on Orkun Kökçü because of the board not going with what Erik ten Hag wants, and obviously opted for what Erik ten Hag never wanted. Ten Hag never wanted Mason Mount. But when that option was offered to him and they told him, let's go ahead and re-sign in Mason Mount, he said, all right, let's go in for him, but my priority has been Orkun Kökçü. So the board did everything possible to keep this deal pending, not until Orkun Kökçü signed for Benfica at 30 million euros with a buyout clause of 120 million euros. And trust me, you are going to be shocked. You are going to be shocked. Orkun Kökçü at Benfica is going to put in a very thrilling performance. And next summer, he's going to be one of those players that you're going to be linked to all at. Trust me. Yet, Ten Hag had a chance to get him at a cheaper price, but the board said no. The incompetence of this board is really costing us on several occasions, and we wouldn't have been tussling it out with Chelsea on Mason Mount because they are calling in for £60 million. But a better player that Erik Ten Hag has gone ahead to identify, Orkun Kökçü, was going in for like £40 million, and I think that deal would have been over the line before even the mid of this month, because Orkun Kökçü signed for Benfica like 2 weeks back, So that is it coming in from Feyenoord, revealing to us why we never signed Orkun Kökçü, a very, very talented player that Ten Hag wanted. And don't be surprised that you're going to be linked to him and you're going to buy him expensively next summer because of the bad thoughts and bad plans of the Glazers for us to get an English player known as Mason Mount. Now, let's go to Donny van de Beek. Links were distributed all over social media that AS Roma is interested in Donny van de Beek. But Fabrizio Romano is going to let us know that Donny van de Beek exploring options to leave Man United, as called 2 weeks ago. That was on the 6th of July. That's when he really put up that post. Then he said AS Roma are currently not in talks or concrete negotiations to sign Donny van de Beek, but there are multiple clubs keeping an eye on the situation, meaning that there are very many clubs keeping their eyes on the situation of Donny van de Beek, a player that has always gone in through and obviously looked at as one of the most talented midfielders we are having, but he has failed to hit the ground running because of the effect of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he put on his career at Man United. When he came in throughout Man United in the summer of 2020, you saw him as a very good and talented player, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer never gave him a chance. And you asked yourself, who was signing these players? Looks like it was there were Edward signings, not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signings, because the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signings we've seen, that is Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Bruno Fernandes, they've come directly into the team. They've fitted directly to the team, and no way we've seen them being thrown under the bus. But these other signings that are about the board and don't sign, because it's so much shocking that Daniel James could play ball at Man United and Donny van de Beek couldn't get minutes, yet he even scored on his debut that saw us lose to Crystal Palace by 3-1. That is it. So Donny van de Beek, I think, is one of those players that we are going to sell and move on as Man United to get in more money. But if I don't Man United, I don't sell Donny van de Beek now. I don't sell him now. His contract runs out in 2026, meaning that he's having 3 years left on his contract. I send him on a loan, but before he goes on a loan, he adds 1 more year on the contract. So to it that we see him, if at all he performs very well, very many teams are going to come up for him and obviously pay for his services expensively at the club of Man United. Depends on the plan of the club, but as we are in search of money to really get in players, if there are teams that are serious on him, they will be giving that player on the amount of money between 20 and 30 million pounds for the 26-year-old Dutch international. So guys, your thoughts onto Greenwood geared up for the United return are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about us missing out on Kökçü and the Glazers costing Erik Ten Hag a big huge signing, and Donny van de Beek not linked to AS Roma, but very many clubs are really interested in him? Juma Karim to the Muslim viewers and subscribers of this channel. Then my Christians, I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Tomorrow is a weekend. Let's see which updates we are going to get from the Mason Mount deal, because a third bid is highly anticipated to see to it that United goes ahead and gets that deal over the line ASAP. Ciao, ciao.